All right, I want to welcome you to part 3 of our video, which is your assignment this week with his expression of experience 3. Now I want to note that this is a video submission. It is not a written assignment, okay? All right, so we reflected on last week and we walked through a full model of what a well-structured lesson plan looks like in our first 2 videos. Now let's talk about your assignment. Now this one's a little bit different. You're not writing a paper, you're not filling out a rubric. Instead, you're going to create a short video, somewhere between 2 to 5 minutes, where you talk through your thinking. Don't worry about sounding perfect. This is not a performance. It's about authentic reflection after you watch the Todd Rose video about teaching to the average. Now, you'll be responding to 3 key areas. The first key area that you need to respond to in your video will show me your knowledge and understanding, where you're going to define what Todd Rose means by the myth of average and why designing instruction for the average student is problematic. I want you to use examples from the Rose video in your own language, and I want to know that you understand what Todd Rose is talking about, and that's what that section's about. Your next section is your analysis and reflection, where I want you to think back on your own educational experiences as a student or as a teacher that you've had, and I'd like you to describe a time when instruction or assessment clearly targeted the middle. Who did it leave behind? What did it assume about learners? Then I want you to connect this to your Applied Learning 2 lesson plan. Did you truly differentiate, or did you teach to an imagined average? Where are the gaps? Right? And so I want you to talk about that and think about that with the video. So you're going to be looking also at your Applied Learning 2 submission. The next part, the final part of it, is your critical evaluation, right? Now what I want you to do is to look ahead. Based on what you learned from Rose and based on your reflection and what you've done, what is one shift you're committed to making as you think about your lesson and assessment design in the future? It could be a mindset shift, a structural challenge, or a new way you want to think and plan about learners. Now, you can use your phone, you can use Zoom, whatever you want, whatever tool works for you, and you don't need slides or a script. You just need a quiet space, hit record, and talk to me about those 3 areas as if you're having a real conversation. Once you're done, upload the video to Brightspace by Saturday. Also, make sure you read from the syllabus the 2 readings this week. Now, this reflection is important because it prepares you for what's coming next. It's sort of a laxed week, so if you're a little bit behind, or if you look at your lesson plan and there's huge gaps, you should start working on this a little bit to prepare for week 6. Because in week 6, you're going to return to your Applied Learning 2 assignment, and you're going to redesign it with SPED, ELL, and TAG learners in mind. Meaning you're going to go through your entire lesson plan and you're going to adjust it and add to it so it meets criterion. And for SPED, ELL, and TAG, you're going to fill that out as well as making a separate assessment for each. Meaning if your assessment's like a multiple choice test, I need to see what that looks like if you're giving it to SPED students. I need to see that looks like if you're giving it to an ELL student. And I need to see what that looks like if you're giving it to a TAG student. Now, for the SPED, the ELL, and TAG, you can make up a student in your mind that hits these categories. It could be a high SPED or a moderate SPED. It could be for ELL like Spanish speaking or Arabic or whatever the case may be. And for TAG, you can have different ideas of what you want that to look like. But the idea is this: when you give an assessment, you're going to have your assessment that you created for Applied Learning 2, which is sort of to average. Then you're going to have a modification of that assessment that you could give to a SPED student. You're going to have a modification of that assessment that you're going to give to an ELL student. And you're going to have another modification that you would give to a TAG student, and all of these must be aligned to the developmental needs at those particular levels, right? And this video that you're writing when you're reflecting on and watching the Rose video and talking about your experience is going to help you qualify or clarify what you need to change before you start changing it. And remember, this isn't about really getting it right, it's about getting honest. The best teaching doesn't start with perfection, it starts with insight. And I can't wait to hear what you notice. So again, the last part that I want you to think about is in week 6, you're taking your Applied Learning 2 and you're resubmitting it. That resubmission is going to be A, going through your lesson plan from the Graceland template and making sure it meets all expectations and it is fully filled out. B, that you're now going to have submitted on top of that 4 separate assessments. You're going to have your assessment that you did in the first time, which is one assessment. You're going to take that exact assessment. You're going to rewrite it and modify it as if it was given to a SPED student. You're going to remodify it as if it was given to an ELL student. And you're going to remodify it as if it is given to a TAG student. And this is why you need to read the chapters this week. Modifying a multiple choice for a SPED doesn't mean turning A, B, C, D into A or B. That's not what modification's about, and I'll let you read about it in the reading. Modifying for TAG doesn't mean you'll write 5 paragraphs instead of 3 paragraphs, right? It means something completely different when we make sure it's aligned, which will come out in the reading. So again, you're not doing this till next week, but you could start preparing today. You're going to watch the Rose video, which is going to give you a good framework as to why we need to do this. And then if you get done this week and you have time, I suggest you start looking at your lesson plan and recreating it. You do not have to submit the exact Graceland lesson plan template, meaning you could submit something like I have. However, what you do have to have is level headings like I have that are exactly what the level headings are. And I might even give you a template for that so you could fill that in if you prefer that. Then you're going to have a total of 4 separate assessments. The one that you created last week, which, you know, it should be aligned. You're going to have one created for a SPED student, one created for a TAG student, and one that is created for an ELL student. Have a great day.